Oh boy. Oh boy. This is a very exciting day because we're back with another video on YouTube. And we have shadows. We have shadows. We've got shadows. Oh my goodness. So first and foremost, I got my hair done recently, which is quite exciting. It's like the most brunette I've been maybe ever in my life. So that's a fun update. I'm also wearing the OG Spread the Love t-shirt crop top. There's like a little stain on it, so I gotta put in the wash. But I found this as I was moving a couple months ago to this new home, and I was so stoked because this shirt, not like with the design, but this actual shirt is discontinued with the company that I do the printing for my apparel. And so I've tried like all these other different crop tops to do the printing on, and just none of them compare to the fit of this one. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's one left. So yay. And I'm filming with a new setup today. Same microphone, but the difference is that I'm using an iMac computer, which is so wild. I've been using this old laptop for the last since I was in Hawaii. I remember like the first year I was in Hawaii, living in the middle of the jungle, my all of my technology broke because it was so humid there. And so I got a new laptop around that time. So like I want to say like 6 years ago. And the screen is just like so grungy. Like, you know how you can get the screen cleaner and like keyboard cleaner and stuff? Like, I've done that and it's grimy, but I was content with it. But actually, my partner Luke gifted me this iMac. And so it's so much larger than what I'm used to. And so I can have like a bunch of different things going on the screen. Anyway, previously I was using my laptop with this like a webcam attachment because also the video of that laptop, since it was such an older computer, was just so grainy. And yeah, I'm just talking. I'm excited to be with you here today. And I'm kind of a little bit cold, so I'm just gonna move around and try and get a little warm. So I'm really thoroughly enjoying this free flow style of videos. I'm also really thoroughly enjoying having like this little setup where I'm just chilling in my chair at my desk, and it's just so simple and not editing and not like going too extravagant with any of it. But most importantly, what I'm resonating with the most is just like free flow talking, like hanging out and not going through the process of like opening up an editing software and cutting out all of the little gaps. Like right there, I would have cut that out and all of the things. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. And from the comments, it seems like you guys are as well. So the style shall continue because it just feels really like easy on my nervous system, less steps. Simplicity is the thing recently. So here we are, back at it again. I feel so happy. And today, gosh, there's like so many things that we could talk about. Today, I feel called to talk about conscious parenting. So if you tuned into my last video, and especially the video before that, my like hour-long YouTube video called Untitled, you will be already informed that I am creating a new company. It doesn't really feel right to say. I have a new passion project, but really deeper than that, it feels like soul mission, soul project, soul assignment, which is all things conscious parenting. And so you may be like, Alyse, what? You are not a parent. You're correct. I'm not a parent, but I'm an aspiring parent. And goodness gracious, the realm of parenting and raising little human beings on planet Earth just feels like the origin of like of the origin of what everything else branches out from. So when it comes to talking about mental health, supporting mental health, talking about physical health, supporting physical health, talking about relationship health or social health and supporting that, everything starts with the original upbringing. So just feels very, very clear, like so crystal clear, undeniable that that's where I was going to say our focus should be. But I also believe I see this like visual network or this map, like this spider web of humanity. And I believe that everybody has this unique role to play in society and in the awakening of humanity and in the stabilizing of the way that we interact with each other and all the things. So I won't say this is what we should all be focusing on, but for me, it feels so freaking true and real and important and exciting. So where to even go off of? So yeah, as you likely know, or maybe you're new here, so I'll give a little recap. Um, I've been sharing via the vehicle of my personal brand for the last 7-ish years on social media. And really, like the last year-ish, I just started to feel like there's a change happening. Last year to 2 years, there's like a shift happening. And so, yeah, essentially, what I feel so called to move into is create a podcast on all things conscious parenting. And so I am doing this, I am in the midst of this. And I don't quite remember exactly what I shared in a past video. So I'm just going to go all in on this video. So, yeah, so I have a co host for this podcast, and his name is Elon. And you guys will be introduced to him in the upcoming months when the podcast launches, and maybe before, but probably when the podcast launches. And so he himself is a father of 2 children, and him and I got connected through a mutual mentor that we share. So we've both been seeing this same mentor for a couple of years now. And as I was sharing this vision and aliveness of this idea and mission with my mentor, he was like, oh my gosh, I have another client who is like so passionate about being a dad and raising his children in a conscious way. And so maybe you could get connected and just see how it flows. And so I had actually spoken with one person before getting connected with Elon, and we hopped on a call and there was resonance, but it didn't feel like, yes, this is the perfect fit match. This is the co-host. And so I connected with Elon and was just very like non-attached. And, something's, I'll give like a little segue story. Something that's interesting about, actually, no, I'll keep going in the way I was going. So Elon and I connected. He was just like bursting with joy and excitement and resonance with this project and this podcast. And it was just like a full body yes. And he was like, I've been calling something like this in for the last, I think he said year or so. He was just like, I've like the last year, I've just been feeling like I'm meant to do something in this world with parenting. I'm meant to, I mean, obviously he's a parent, so he's full on embodying that. And he just felt like there was something more for him to contribute. And so, yeah, I felt like a heck yeah. And we have been getting on weekly calls together for the most part of the last year. And so really getting to know each other. And so like sharing our own stories of where we're coming from, what the work that we're already doing in the world is, like who we are, what our lives are like, and then just talking about all things parenting and like slowly but surely creating this vision together. And yeah, so what I was going to say just a moment ago is like, what has been so interesting with this project is that in the past, in the container of my personal brand, which at a time was Raw Alignment, it was so very me focused. And so what I mean by that is It was based on my personal passions and what I was interested in, what I was growing through, what I was learning, what I was implementing and experimenting with. And so any creation, any offering that I felt called to create, for example, a color, like a positive affirmation coloring book that I created years back, or a retreat in Hawaii, or a coaching program, like whatever it may be, I was able to set the vision, create the offering or create the content or whatever it was, create the launch plan, share about it as I went, and then release that and set that into the world and offer it so quickly. And so, as I've been sharing in the past few videos, and you may have picked this up through more of my videos, is like there was a past version of me that was just like go, 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 like very masculine, very driven, very linear focused, very like type A, ambitious. And I still have all of that within me. And I've like toned it down a little bit, or not. Actually, I don't want to say toned it down. I've balanced it with this part of me that is open to flow, open to spontaneity, open to being, open to like listening, tuning in versus like. So one thing that has been so interesting for me with this, my baby of conscious parenting podcast, has been that it's so beyond me. Like I cannot do this alone. I can't. It's a collective project. It's a community mission. And the very nature of the podcast is like it's multidimensional. And so there's myself, the curious interviewer who has yet to bring children into this world, who's just like, I am open and just curious to learn, like, what are the different approaches that have been really impactful and made this positive impact and progression in children and in adults and in society, in mental health and physical health and interpersonal relationships. Like, what are those modalities? What are those philosophies? What are those ways of operating within the parent and the parent-child relationship that create that impact? And so there's me, the curious one, and the question asker. And then there's Elon, who has years into this. I think his children, I think I said this different in a last video, but I think his children are 9 and 13 or 9 and 15. And so he's got years under his belt, and he has the real life experience of what type of scenarios parents run into and parents experience with their children. And so something that I was just chatting with him the other day about is like, I've been so curious, like within this freaking modern day with technology, I see like babies with scrolling on iPhones, or like babies with iPads. And so we were having this long conversation about, what has shown up for him with his children when it comes to technology and like video games and screen time, and are there time limits, and like, how do you navigate that? And, I can think back to the way that I was raised with technology, but I feel like I was growing up like just as it was all booming. And so now, like, children being born into reality when it's just like the phones are right in front of them, or the iPad is right in front of them. So we're talking about that. Anyway, Elon's playing the role of like, I have this experience, and so what can I learn to support me within these real life scenarios? And then we have the experts. And what I'm excited about with the experts is like, they're not just parents themselves, because I'm a firm believer that the whole, and maybe this is controversial, but like, this is my truth, is that human beings carry wisdom in them beyond like having specific credentials. Credentials and knowledge and research and understanding is incredible. And there's also this innate knowing, or there's, these gifts that show up in all individuals from hardships that we've experienced. I just feel like from hardships we've experienced in the past. And so the experts that we're going to be showcasing and highlighting on the podcast and interviewing and learning from, many of them are going to be parents. And then, part of me is like, I want to tell you some of the people that we already have on for interviews, but I'm not going to yet. But yeah, we have experts who are not parents, but yet they have created, their life's work is so focused on the developmental stages of human beings. And so they're not a parent, but they have gained this wisdom, or they have this wisdom, or this combination of both. And so really what I see is like the experts, the human beings who are sharing their wisdom and their teachings on this podcast. It's like we're all, them and myself and Elon and you and everybody who feels interested and resonant with this mission has a puzzle piece. And we all have these unique puzzle pieces that all come together to co-create a new paradigm for parenting and a new paradigm for humanity together. And so, as you can see, the very nature of this is so beyond me. And so there was so much like discomfort and like weirdness that I was feeling in the very beginning, like a year back. Because when this vision and soul mission came through, I found myself initially like feeling like my reaction was to create this and launch this with the same energy that I had always used over the years within my personal brand of building, creating, launching offerings quickly, like relying on myself and my small team of humans that were supporting me, but like really fast. And with this, it's like, there's only so much I can do because I am one puzzle piece. And so it has been so much slower of a progression, but really time, like what is time when it comes to something that feels this important and this big, that is going to likely take multiple generations to really create the entire change. But anyway, I felt called to share that because, yeah, I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there who can relate. For me, it was just like a little bit like, oh my gosh, like, am I not going fast enough? Should I be doing it faster? Should I be like working harder? And so another part of this too is like changing that paradigm, allowing that paradigm to dissolve, which is like, I need to work hard. I need to like work a lot. I need to like grind and like do it and lady boss it up. The energy of this podcast and this mission, it's just not meant to come from that place. And that's kind of the point of all of this, is like slowing down to tune in to the natural timeline, the natural development, the natural wisdom within myself and all that is of like what's meant to happen here. So less created from my human conditioned mind of like, here's something that I want to do and I'm going to do it. And here's my blueprint and action steps. And here's the timeline. And look, I did it. That's beautiful. So cool that humans can do that. And with this, it's not, there's been a lot of pacing and listening and also like opening to receiving. So for me, like moving from that masculine way into more of this like wholesome, all-inclusive, like it's kind of like I'm planting the seed and I'm like, who else wants to like nurture this seed with me? And then like one person will come, another person will come. And then every now and then I'll be like, hey guys, there's the seed. So excited about the seed. I'm nurturing the seed. And the seed needs more than just me to nurture. Like, do you want to nurture this seed with me? And so it's like one by one, the puzzle pieces are coming together. And so, yeah, I guess I also feel called to Can you talk a little bit about like what it's like? How do I put this into words? I know so many of us have these big dreams for ourselves or even like little projects we want to work on. And I just got a little spacey for some reason. Hmm. Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Water. Hmm. So, okay, let's see. What do I want to share here? Something that I'm being really intentional with when it comes to this creation is is mm, it's like almost like there's less like strategy and planning and like structure, and more flow and natural arrangement. And this is something that I didn't set my mind to do it in that different way, but rather like I said, I was bumping into that weirdness of like, wait, I can't do it the other way. It's like, uh, this is where I get like, oh, is this too woo woo? Or people gonna like understand what I'm saying? But it's almost like the universe is arranging everything in a way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you guys can relate to this where like an old pattern was working and then all of a sudden it's not. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna like sit back and start feeling into what is the new way. And so the new way is like ease and community, collective support, and alignment. And so my co-host and I have been connecting, over the last year or so, and yeah, like working on, like I had like a little list of things for us to do. And so, you know, so many calls in, I'm like, okay, it feels now like we can start creating the Gmail account. And now we can find the domain and like start taking these steps. And so we got all of that set up, and like the Calendly link for the interview calls and the microphone and all the things. And yeah, so more recently, the steps that we've been taking have been reaching out to individuals that we want to be the first guests on the podcast, the first individuals that we interview. And it has just been so exciting to see the all in support from these really wise people. So, like a lot of the books that I've been reading over the past couple of years, some on parenting, some on energetics and, you know, healing childhood wounding and processing emotions and repairing the attachment system and conscious like communication and things like this. Like the people who have mapped out these techniques and these modalities and have the understanding of like what is happening and where we can go to relate to ourselves and others in a whole new way. Like these people are just like, yes, I'm so in. And so right now we're hopping on a lot of like pre-interview calls. So just taking like 20, 30 minutes to connect with these individuals and so they can better understand like who Elon and I are so we can meet them and just ensure that it's a really good fit before just going into the interview. And yeah, so that's where we've been at right now. And then also scheduling the interviews. And our vision is to have a backlog of like 8 to 10 episodes before going live. So I'd love to have like 5 or 6 episodes that as soon as the podcast launches, all of those episodes are like in. See, here's another thing is like podcast land is so new for me. Like I know all the things with YouTube of like cameras and editing softwares and like things how to upload. I guess there's not much to it, but like podcast land is very new. So anyway, once a podcast launches, like whether you're in Spotify or the podcast app or iTunes, I think that's another one, we're going to have like our intro episode and like 5-ish episodes so that you can like thoroughly dive in and really get a feel for the types of conversations that we're going to be having and the types of topics we're going to be covering. And then having like, yeah, 5-ish other episodes that are backlogged. And that way, like if there's ever a gap and someone goes on vacation or like whatever, then we don't have to be like, oh my gosh, we need an episode. So really allowing like some cushion and buffer room there. But with the way things are going, like it's not going to be any issue at all with having so many interviews with so many beautiful and intelligent humans. So yeah, I'm noticing in this moment, I'm feeling like tired. Like I came on the beginning of this video and was just like, I'm so energized. Yeah, it's 6 p.m. and I guess I had a little bit of a long day. So maybe just a couple other things I'll share. Hmm. I'm noticing this theme within my own life and with pretty much everyone that I speak to. So my friends, my family, my clients, that, and like, I also acknowledge that I may be in a pretty intense bubble. And so maybe this isn't happening on a wide scale, but I have an intuitive feeling that it is, which is that we're all slowing down and noticing that it's okay to slow down. Yeah, I'm going to segue away from conscious parenting a little bit, although it does play into that. Um, it's okay to slow down. Like we don't need to be in a rush to do anything. What is the rush, right? When we see on social media, other people are doing all these things or like making this money or like buying these things or like have like hitting these benchmarks on the roadmap, the standard way. And it's like all of a sudden there's this sense of like, oh, I'm behind. Oh my gosh, like I should be so much farther ahead than I am now. And I think like we're all starting to notice, what is the rush? I was just talking to my friend Carly about this. Why like rush to where? And so, something I've been talking about with my clients is this whole concept of like point A and point B. And so we're at point A, and we really want to get over here. So we can use the example of me creating a podcast, me creating this conscious parenting podcast as an example. Like I'm at point A now, and point B will be when the podcast launches. And like, oh, I just want to get there. Like so many other people have podcasts, and like I really just, yes, that feels so important. And once I get there, I'll feel so much more accomplished, right? And then we get to point B, and then all of a sudden point B becomes our new point A. And then there's always another point B. And then we get to that point B, and then that becomes our point A. And there's like always something more. And that paradigm, that way of perceiving and operating, it's just breaking apart. It's cracking open and it's dissolving. There's nothing more important than right here and now. And when we live our whole lives in that point A to point B, point A to point B, point A to point B, we're missing the arrival. And so, something I've been practicing for a couple of years now is sinking into the state of arrival that's already here. So getting out of that hamster wheel, thinking that it's going to come at a later point in the future, that I'm going to feel more at ease or more relaxed or more safe or more confident or more anything in the future. Because when we come at it from that direction of achieving things or bettering ourselves or healing, whatever it may be, and we're coming at it from that place of like, once I get there, we're basically saying and feeling that I'm incomplete right now. There's a piece missing, or I'm broken and I need to fix something or do something or heal something or learn something or whatever, so that I can feel this wholeness and well-being in the future. But then once we feel a little something or get to the thing we thought that would give us that, and then all of a sudden that's our new point A. And there's always something more. And so there's just a new way, and like, yeah, being able to just notice, like, in this moment, like, look around at your environment that you're in. Do this with me. I invite you to. You don't have to. Like, look around at your environment that you're in. See if you can access the knowing, the truth, the feeling of like, I've already made it. I'm already here. I'm already whole. I'm already abundant. Like feeling the gratitude. It goes beyond conceptually thinking like, I am so grateful for the light in front of the computer that is lighting me and allowing me to do this. I am so grateful for technology. It's like feeling the arrival right here and now. There's nowhere that you need to be, that we need to be. There's nowhere that I need to be right now other than right here. There's nothing that I need to do right now. There's nothing that I need to change. There's nothing I need to fix. There's nothing I need to improve upon or get better at. I can do all of those things. Sure, I can learn. Sure, I can implement new things. Sure, I can heal. Sure, I can grow. Sure, I can create. Sure, I can do. And I will continue with all of that. And what would it be like if we are to do all of those things from this already inevitable? Silo, are you having a bad dream? Papa. What would it be like? Hey, it's okay. If we were to do all of that from the already inevitable, secure foundation of a calm nervous system and this knowing that there is already completeness right here and now. I've already made it. I've already arrived. And something that a few people shared with me a little over a year ago is like, what if everything from this point on is just a bonus round? Instead of thinking like a year from now or 6 years from now, or once we do the thing, then we'll feel like, yes, I've reached it, I've made it. It's like, notice how it's already here. And then what if everything else is just extra? And I feel called to share that. Also curious, if you resonate. I'm curious if it's something you've been noticing within yourself, that shift is happening, or that you're starting to be aware of like, wait, why am I rushing? Wait, why am I trying so hard? Wait, why am I proving myself? Wait, why am I making everything so hard? Wait, why is life an uphill struggle? Wait, why do I feel so much lack? And just starting to notice. And of course, there's a great deal of it that relates to our upbringing and societal conditioning stacked on top of that. And what I'm noticing, people that I'm connecting with, is like, it's cracking open. For me, cracked open a while ago, and really just now sinking into being. Yeah. And so, circling back to conscious parenting, the podcast is like, for this all to be built from this place is so different in the most beautiful way than creating from this place of like, I have to, or I should, or I need to rush like faster, bigger, better. Yeah. So that's what we're building this baby on. And it feels really important. I think that's going to wrap up today's video. And yeah, curious to hear how this one resonates with you. Again, just kind of popping on and chatting through what my experience has been. And if there are any topics that you're like, Alyse, I would like if you lean in this direction, totally open to hearing what you're interested in. And I will continue to tune into my inner compass and yeah, just popping on when something feels very alive and resonant. And I'm gonna go make some dinner. And oh wait, I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to talk to you about. I was just chatting with my partner Luke before this video, and I think there was something. Maybe I'll just do like a rapid fire, like a couple other things, random things, not related to conscious parenting. So I just got my first gua sha tool. I don't know too much about it yet, but I'm going to learn the history and how to use it and all of that. I've looked into it a bit, but like this tool is in my bathroom right now for like moving the energy in the face to create like even skin tone and like tighten the skin and health benefits. So I got that. Oh, I just got this device called the Human Charger, recommended by my naturopathic doctor. I haven't actually tried it out yet, but oh, I think it goes like this. It goes like around your neck. Oh, my hair. And then you put these things in your ears. It's like a wireless thing. It feels so strange. This is just the plug for it, so this comes off. Okay, so it just chills right here on your neck. And she recommended for me to use it in the mornings. Oh, see, there's just a thought that came in that was like, I should make this a separate video so that there can be like a separate life update from the conscious parenting. But like, I'm just going to go with this. I'm just going to go with the flow. Anyway, it's called the Human Charger. And so in that moment, I acknowledged that thought with love. I'm like, oh, there's a part of me that feels like it needs to be separate and that like that's like better somehow. And it's like, okay, it's enough. It's perfectly all right for me to just be chatting and sharing. So Human Charger, basically you turn it on and light emits from the ear things. Again, I haven't tried it out yet, but she recommended that I use it in the mornings right when I wake up, or even like setting my alarm for like 30 minutes before I intend to get up. And something about that helping with the circadian rhythm, because I guess there's like sensory points in your ears that when they sense the light, like it helps you wake up. I don't know, just learning. But something that I've been, navigating over the years, ever since being exposed to mold years back, was like sluggishness in the morning. And so I've been working with this naturopath for a couple months now and feeling so much better during the daytime, like my congestion gone. I also went, oh yeah, I didn't share this with you guys on YouTube. I think I shared it in an email. I went through this program called the Gupta Program. Oh my gosh, see, now I'm going to get on a whole nother rant. But I just totally feel called to share this with you. So, man, this is a whole thing. Now, I'm not going to go into all of it. I'll go into that in a separate video. But I went through this program called the Gupta Program, which helped me reprogram my mind in relation to my physical symptoms, which for me was chronic congestion. And it was so mind-boggling. So I'm just going to share a tiny bit right now for anyone who's navigating chronic health conditions. Highly recommend just looking. I'll put it in the description below, the Gupta program. Yeah, so crazy. And I'll make a whole nother video on it because it took me from being like this past winter, I found myself being like bedridden for like at least one day a week with symptoms. Like literally, I would be knocked out with not knocked out like I was conscious, but like unable to do life because of how intense my symptoms were. Um, yeah, I'm trying to keep it simple. But just really, really like got to a rough place again. And so my mentor introduced me to this program, and within 2 days, my symptoms decreased like 75% and then continued to get better. And now I'm working with the naturopath. Um, anyway, highly recommend that. And then, yeah, so what I'm working on now is feeling more alert when I wake up in the morning. And so we're working on hormones and digestion and adrenals. And this is just an extra little thing to support me in resetting circadian rhythm. So there's that. And what other life updates? Yeah, maybe that's it. My gua sha tool, my human charger device, the Gupta program, that was a couple months ago. My Hawaii retreat, which I mentioned a couple videos ago, is almost filled. There's one spot left. And I just recently launched my new website, which I had been working on for like the last 10 months as a side project. And then once I got off Instagram and really started clearing away like all these things that I was doing for no reason, and just started simplifying and slowing down, I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much extra space and creative energy and everything to put the final touches on the website. So that's ready and it feels so good. Like I felt like my website was just felt very outdated. It was so epic years ago when I first got it done. I was like, this is so me. And then I grew up and was like, this is so not me. So my new one's super simple and really sweet. And yeah, would love for you to check it out. I'll also put that in the description. And yeah, I have like a whole shop on there with all my recommended books, all my recommended like kitchen supplies, office supplies, like tech stuff that I use for filming. Um, I have a couple items of merch that are new on there. What else? Yeah, that's what I got going on. So I think that's gonna be all for this video. Thanks for joining me for another one. And I'm excited to read through your comments. If I don't respond, just know that I love the heck out of you and so appreciate you being here. And I'll do my best to respond to as many as I can. But really just continuing to honor myself in like what I'm doing, what I'm spending my energy on in all the different ways. Highly encourage everyone, if this resonates, to just like see what happens when you turn off your phone and just go like sit on your couch or go sit outside for like 20-30 minutes and bring your awareness to the sensory experience of the present moment. And so if you notice your mind is like going over here and rabbit hole and all the things to do or the past experiences or what other people think or whatever, or like what's for dinner or like anything, just like back to the feeling of the couch beneath you or the ground beneath you, back to the feeling of the temperature of the room or the air on your skin, back to the sounds, back to your breath. There's so much peace there. so much peace there, and we don't need to wait until we achieve something or finish something. It's right here. So hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one for an unknown topic that none of us know. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. We'll see what it is. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.